Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Studio D YouTube channel. My name is Kate, and I am the clinic director here at Studio D. For anybody who's new to our channel, I'm just going to go over kind of what Studio D is in a nutshell. We are a multidisciplinary clinic, which means that we have multiple different types of practitioners that work at our clinic. So kinesiology, like therapy, massage, those are just a couple examples. And we work collaboratively, which means that we work together on all of our patients to work towards their health and wellness goals. That's kind of us in a nutshell. We haven't been on here in a while. We took a little break from YouTube, and what we're doing today is we're going to dive into some questions that we have gotten about what digital appointments look like. So, what's happening here in Alberta is, we have the lockdown, the clinics had to close on the weekend, and we've had a lot of people asking us the questions about what do digital appointments look like? How do practitioners work on a digital platform? And so we put a question up over the weekend on our Instagram and just got all the questions from you guys. And we are going to address them all here today. I'm going to go into all of them in detail. If you have any questions about Studio D or our previous videos, or, if questions come up about what we're all about and who Studio D is as you watch through this video, you can always go back and rewatch some of our old videos on our YouTube channel. You can follow the link here above and check it all out. So let's dive into the questions here. I'm going to kind of answer the first couple individually, and then there's a bunch of questions that kind of all lump together. And so I'm going to address all of them together. So one of the first questions that we got from the Instagram questionnaire was, can you guys do more than just exercise online? So can we address more than just doing a workout with you? Which is a really great question, because I think the automatic visual that comes into people's heads when they think about working online with somebody is, doing those exercises, maybe down on your yoga mat. And those are all amazing things, don't get me wrong. But I think it's the only thing that people can really picture in their head. And so the answer to that question is absolutely. We can address a lot more than just exercise and working out on a digital platform, depending on what type of practitioner you're working with and what your own personal goals are that you're working towards. We can do, guided release techniques. We can use our muscles in different ways to mobilize joints. And I'll get into a bit more of this later on in some of the other questions, the really specific details of what we can address online within a session with you. The next question that we got is, how will the practitioner assess my injury? Which is a really great question. So, in the clinic, you might be used to your practitioner, touching different joints, testing different muscles, and that's all really, really great. But we can do all of that guided as well. We can do a guided assessment where we get you to move different joints around. We can see your mobility of different areas of your body. And the other thing is, we can also put you through different movement patterns. So we might ask you, instead of, doing a simple test on a table, we might get you to do a more functional movement and look at how you perform that movement, what you're feeling during that movement. And so it's all about, from a practitioner standpoint, being creative and adapting to, our environment. And so absolutely, we can do all those assessments that we would do on the table. We just have to do them a little bit differently from a digital platform. The next question that we got is, what if I don't have any equipment at home? And I think that's pretty common for people. Not everybody has an entire gym in their house or, all these rehab materials from past injuries, and that's completely okay. We did an entire class last week where we were working with just basic weights. So we got people to fill water bottles. We had people with canned goods. I think one lady had a couple bottles of wine that she was using. And so it's all about getting creative and using what's in your house and in your environment, and we can absolutely do that. There's tons of different household items that we can use for this stuff, and that's something that your practitioner can help you kind of pick household items to achieve whatever goal you're working on in whatever exercise or release that you are trying to do with them. So absolutely, no equipment necessary. You can always be creative. Next question is, what if I don't live in Calgary or in your time zone? Which is the beauty of the digital platform, honestly. And this is something I'm really excited about, because as our digital platform has kind of grown through the pandemic, we've always kind of kept it active, even when our clinic, our brick and mortar space opened back up. we kept our digital side going, and there was definitely people that just stayed digital with us, even people that lived in Calgary. But what we've seen is actually a growth of patients from, all over Canada. So me personally, I work with a couple clients in BC that are an hour behind us, and I work with a couple patients in Ontario that are 2 hours ahead of us. And so that's just something that we're really upfront about when we're booking appointments. So it's being very clear, but our booking software does adjust to your time frame. So whenever you get like an appointment reminder or whatever, it'll be in whatever time zone you are in, so that everybody's on the same page and you're not having to do that mental math. It's more just when you're booking that you need to be careful. But yeah, we work with people all over the country, and I think even a couple people in the States. So that's not a problem. The digital platform allows us access to anyone at any time, and you could be traveling when this pandemic is over, and you can access your practitioners at Studio D as well, no matter where you are in the country. Okay, so the next set of questions all I think really address the same thing. So what I want to do is I'm going to read through them so that if you were the one that put these questions in, that you can really make sure that I'm addressing it in the next kind of little layout, and then I'll go ahead and I'll answer them. So there's 4 questions here. I'm used to being adjusted in person. How can this happen online? That's the first question. Second one is, what about all the physical stuff that you guys do? Is there a way to substitute that? The third question is, can you really help me just online? And the fourth question is, what can you do online with your clients? So all of those, I think, address probably the biggest question mark for people around digital health, and the thing that people have the hardest time wrapping their heads around. And I think that has a lot to do with kind of the way our society imagines what it's like to work with a practitioner or a physio. We have this kind of pre-identified image of going in, having hands-on treatment done, and maybe having a machine attached to us. And that's what we think of in that environment, which is totally fair. But what we need to do is, in this totally changing world and in a platform that's kind of new to most people, is we need to kind of break away from that imagery. So the big question is, how does the digital platform work, and how do practitioners work within the digital platform? So within our digital platform, the easiest stuff to kind of do with people, that's the most comfortable for them because it's not new, people are used to it, is that rehab, exercise, activation, all of that stuff, mobility, we run some classes, that stuff is all really easy for us to address online, and it's probably the easiest thing for you guys to picture. Now, I'm not going to go too much into that because that's one type of appointment, and I think people understand it. So I'm not going to spend too much time there. The next type of appointment is kind of that guided treatment. So like I said a little bit earlier, we can walk you through different techniques that you can treat an area, release an area, mobilize an area, and we can teach you how to do that by yourself. And we can do that kind of guided, where we're doing it and you're doing it and we're showing you and talking about what you should be feeling, etc. And that's kind of that guided treatment. And that's I wouldn't say that's a whole appointment. That's a tool within an appointment. And then the other thing I kind of touched on earlier is using your own body as a treatment tool. And so what people don't usually talk about, and this is a big thing for like chiropractors, they're big on this, is you can use muscles to manipulate, I won't use that word, to mobilize and move a joint. So if you have a stuck joint, one of the ways that you can address that is by using the muscles that attach to that joint to help kind of mobilize. And, if we were thinking of it from like a more understandable term, like almost like grease up, the gears in there. And so we can walk you through and teach you different movement patterns where we can, get a joint that's kind of stuck moving again, or we can work on mobility or capsules that are, stuck. We can work through those by using your own leverage points within your body, your own muscles. The nice thing about these types of techniques is that it creates a really nice toolbox for yourself where you can start being your own practitioner at home as well. You have your own set of toolboxes, so you're not going in to see somebody, once a month for the exact same thing. You're not doing anything. Then you get that pain in the back of your shoulder blade. That's a really common one that we get all the time. They kind of start to feel stuck right below their shoulder blade. And we can give you tools where instead of you having to come in and get the exact same treatment done over and over and over again, if you get that little stuck feeling, you can actually start to use those tools to work on yourself and generally get this better quality of life overall. And I think that's a big part of what digital appointments and the digital platform is so fantastic about, is building that toolbox around your life. You can come into the clinic and we can work on things, but health really starts in your life. It has to start in your life. And so if we can come to you and, look at your environment, look at the tools in your house, or, wherever you're accessing your health in the biggest way, and looking at, the different aspects of how we can integrate health into your house, into your lifestyle, I think those are overall more meaningful, and they're going to last longer for people, I think. And so coming back to my kind of points, we have our kind of 2 areas that we've talked about. And then the 3rd area that is a really fantastic thing to work with on Patients Online is, mindset and lifestyle management. And these are things that we've talked about in our past videos around one of our pillars being lifestyle management. And it's looking at how all of these different parts interact. So we have, maybe you have a shoulder injury, and so we're working through that. But, there's all these other aspects of health. And Studio D is really big on preventative care and, optimizing our life and our experience instead of only reacting once there's an injury. And so absolutely, the first 2 areas that we talked about are very targeted at a specific area, or maybe some of the pain or aches that you have in your life. But there's this whole other area that is my most favorite to address. I think it's the most exciting, is looking at, what does your life look like? How can we integrate healthy habits? How can we integrate exercise in really exciting, fun ways? Where are your de-stressors? Where's your self-care? And I think that's a big picture. And I think people actually have responded to it better on the digital platform because they're in their house, they're in their safe spot, and they can show us things. They can be like, look at my exercise area, or look at my workstation, or and I think people actually have really enjoyed that, and we've gotten really great feedback about being able to bring your practitioners into your house is a really new and exciting thing. So we've had a lot of awesome times working with our patients on that type of stuff as well. So that's kind of some of the areas that you can really treat, and it's difficult to fully explain, but that hands-on touch, it's a old way of thinking. And I know this is all really new for people, but, I'll bring up an example. Our staff, has been meeting a lot lately, talking about the lockdown, this most recent lockdown, and, why we're doing what we do as practitioners and how we can best support our clients. And just this morning, we had an amazing conversation. One of our founders, Danica, asked myself and one of the other practitioners this really amazing question, very thought-provoking, about, why what we do is a benefit to our patients. And so we were kind of bringing up these things, talking about advocating for our patients and listening to our patients, and, creating education around health and what that means for people. And it was really interesting because neither one of us actually listed manual therapy or, hands-on manipulation as one of the things that we felt were of value to our clients in the top, half at all. It wasn't even in the discussion. And so I think, there's a new mindset that needs to come around health, and that's the direction that we're moving. And that's something that can really be optimized on the digital platform. The last question that I have here are there types of patients that we can't see online? Which is a great question. And I think there's kind of 2 sides to that. So there isn't any type of patient we can't see online. It's more about who else we bring into the picture. So, we might have a new client that comes in with, a various set of issues. And one of the things and one of the responsibilities of practitioners is to go through a very, very detailed history and look for little red flags or little things that maybe we can't address as practitioners, or maybe are more medical than, physical therapy. And it's our responsibility to kind of look for those things and look for the big picture of somebody's health. And so what we would need to do online is go through a history. And sometimes there's going to be patients where we say, you know what, there's a couple of things here that we're a little bit concerned about, and we would like you to see, your GP first and get a couple tests done, or we would like you to get an X-ray done before we start giving you, exercises and different things to stress this area. And so it's not so much that there aren't patients, there are patients that we can't see. It's more about, are there other people that we need to get involved in your case? And I mean, that's one of the reasons why we have the collaborative system is, most cases need multiple types of eyes and ears and scopes of practice. But there's definitely times when we need to refer outside of our clinic and bring in other experts or check off the boxes to make sure that you are the safest you can be, and to make sure that we're addressing the problems that need to be addressed first and foremost. So if there is anybody who's going through anything, they can absolutely come to us. It just might be, we might bring somebody in the early days to make sure that we're operating from a full base where there's no cracks, no questions, and we can just move forward really nicely. So that is all the questions that we got last week from Instagram. Those are all fantastic questions. And, I think it really paints a really nice picture of kind of some of the barriers people are feeling around accessing digital care, and why this is kind of an unknown and a little bit of a intimidating thing. And I think that's okay for people to be feeling that way. New things are often kind of a little scary. And so, we've done a couple different things through Studio D to try to help kind of bridge that. We're going to be running out some classes in the new year so that people can kind of access in a group and see what it's all about. And we're also running some restorative yoga classes next week to just kind of let everybody de-stress in this crazy time. We also have practitioners giving little 30-minute chats, so free of charge. Just let us know, and you can meet with any of our practitioners and talk about your case and see if what they say about what your digital health journey would look like. And so if there are still questions and concerns, we're more than happy to address them. Reach out to us, and we're always happy to listen to your very specific case. So I think that's it for today, guys. If you are liking the conversation, we are actually going to continue this conversation around digital appointments and digital health for the rest of the week. We have another video coming out on Wednesday and Friday. On Wednesday, we're going to be having one of our patients that is only accessing our digital health. She is from BC. She'll be coming on and chatting to you about her experience and what she expected and what the appointments ended up being. She'll be here on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we are going to have all of our practitioners coming together and kind of talking about their digital health journey, what they had to learn and adapt and change in their practice, and the successes they've had with patients and some of the speed bumps that they've hit. This is a new thing for all of us, and so there's a journey involved on both sides. As always, guys, if you are enjoying this, please subscribe, share with a friend. If you want to leave us a comment, if there's any questions that came out of this video, we will absolutely address them. If there's enough questions, we'll do another video. And feel free to reach out to us. You can reach us on email at admin@studiod.digital, and we'll reach out to you right away and answer any questions or concerns that you have. And other than that, I will see you guys on Wednesday and Friday this week. Hope you guys all have a great week. Bye.